Hey, it's O.M.M here, and, well, I'm not going to be talking about any films. I'm going to be talking about the ultimate death of Spider-Man. So, yeah, I'm a huge Spider-Man fan, almost any version of the character, and even though some people don't like Ultimate Spider-Man, I actually have to admit it's a guilty pleasure for me. I kind of enjoy it. Now, some of you may know, or may not have known, that Spider-Man, this version, has been officially killed off. They're apparently going to be trying to introduce a new Spider-Man. Okay. And it's probably best that he was, I guess, the Ultimate Universe practically killed off many important characters. When was that? Oh yeah, Ultimatum. And I actually won't defend that. But, you know, well, it only made sense that they were going to kill him sooner or later. I mean, half of his villains, pretty much all of them, and a lot of his friends and family found out who he was. Jameson found out who he was. And that was like a few issues before the death started to come up. So, I got the last one, and, oh, hold on. It came with when I bought it, it came with this sealed bag, so there's no way of reading it at the store. You had to buy it, you had to just buy it. And what do I think of Spiderman's death in here? Well, the story is fairly short. The majority of it is just advertisements. I bet you could read it in less than 8 minutes maybe. And how does his death fare out? Not really, doesn't really leave that much of an emotion. Well, my emotion is pretty much, that's a stupid way to go out. Alright, this is where the spoiler part of it comes in, alright? So, turn off now. Alright, what kills Spider-Man? Well, he sees Captain America's about to be shot by Punisher, and he swings in the way and takes the bullet for Cap, and he's unconscious. He wakes up, and the Avengers have totally deserted him. Nick Fury was there, and he couldn't have even called in like backup or an emergency. I mean, they had to immediately go to a battle apparently, but he couldn't have called in a SHIELD agent to pick him up. And they sort of had a developed relationship, like almost father and son kind of relationship. Never mind. Anyway, he wakes up alone and bleeding, only to see the ultimate version of the Sinister Six. Vulture, Sandman, Kraven, Green Goblin, Doc Ock, and Electro. They're heading towards Queens. They battle Johnny Storm and the Human Torch and Iceman, and they pretty much get knocked out. Spider-Man arrives still bleeding, and they're all knocked. The Sinister Six is knocked out. Electro is killed by Aunt May. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. And now it's actually just the Goblin staring right at Parker, and he's getting beat up, of course. And all of a sudden, I don't know. This is very random and it doesn't really go anywhere. He absorbs Johnny Storm's powers briefly. Okay. Only to be just brought down by MJ, who's driving a truck at him. And it actually works. The man who has survived explosions, buildings collapsing on him, is brought down by a truck hitting him. Okay? Spider-Man gets MJ out of the truck, and Spider-Man then just starts beating him with the truck. He's like, shut up, shut up, shut up. Alright. And Spider-Man, being the person who knows all about science, physics, whatever, he just stands there. I'm sure he's injured, but he doesn't expect the truck to blow up and propelling him to a neighborhood where they're just staring, and apparently not one person is called the hospital. Someone has, but he's there, and he starts to die. I compliment the dialogue. I do. There was actually one thing I forgot to mention where Parker brings up all this stuff like, what is killing me going to do? It's not going to bring your son back. You're not going to be a CEO or anything at Osborn Industries. But Osborn just says, yeah, but you'll be dead. Nice, blunt, simple, and effective. Thank you. And the last dialogue, this is going to be Spider-Man's last word. And I will read it. Again, if you haven't turned off, even though I said spoilers, these are Spider-Man's last words. And he's saying this to Aunt May. He's saying this. It's okay. I did it. Don't you see? It's okay. I did it. I couldn't save him. Uncle Ben. I couldn't save him, no matter what I did. But I saved you. I did it. I did. Those were the last words of Ultimate Spider-Man. And they don't have, it ends with people crying. Well, it doesn't just end there. We zoom in on the supposed corpse of Osborn in flames, where he's just like, but it gradually changes to a smile. And at the end, and that's when I started to think that the death wasn't that great. Well, I mean, it was actually kind of cool to see the villain smiling at the, I mean, we finally get to see, this happened before, but we see the villain's reaction to the hero's death. Usually the villain dies before the hero dies. But I actually was glad. I mean, I thought that was pretty cool. But how he died, like, they brought up, like, Captain America was actually going to say you were going to have a great legacy on how to die, but how do we know that this time the Goblin's dead? He was in Goblin form and he was burnt. Sure, he's back in human form, but come on. The Goblin took a bullet to the head in human form and survived. How can the Goblin not survive being hit with a truck and set on fire in Goblin form? I think this is what they're leaving out. But I just didn't think how Spider-Man died really meant anything. It wasn't fantastic. Like, Captain America was going to build up for him dying heroically, and he's done more heroic things. I just found it kind of weak how he died. It didn't really seem that heroic or meaningful. And how does Spider-Man's death work in the Ultimate Universe? What I mean is, actually, let me rephrase it. There is still a clone. There's a Peter Parker clone, not the Spider-Woman, the Scorpion one, of Peter Parker. I have never seen it since that Ultimate Clone Saga, which is still better than the real Clone Saga. And I'm not sure if this is going to be for another comic series, but if you have the Gwen clone still around, they say it's really Gwen, but whatever, she's a clone still to me. Can't you just do the same thing with... Yeah, you can't do it, but... Ultimate Universe really Yeah, I enjoy it, but it gets me confused at times. So, yeah, this was a script that apparently put tears to the writer's eyes, and leading up to it I can understand, and the dialogue, but I just feel as if his whole death was executed in a wrong way. It was weak. And, oh my god, Joe Quesada was in on this. No wonder Spider-Man was killed off. He does not want Mary Jane to be with He doesn't want Peter Parker to be with Mary Jane. Of course. No matter what universe, he doesn't want him to... Whatever. Well, what can I give it if I was rating as a comic book? Give it a 6, 7 out of 10? I don't know. I'll be back with more videos and / movies to review soon.